We are Aunt Hannah and Mabel the pup. We live and work from our 50-foot narrowboat, the Corridor. Come and join us as we attempt to navigate the English canals and the world as full-time artists. Here we go.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the vlog. Well, I'm afraid it might be a bit of a short one this week. Hannah and I can't even speak. Hannah and I have both been very ill. We don't think it's COVID, well, we don't really know, but we've sort of been keeping ourselves contained and just staying away from people. But I've sort of come through the worst of it now, but Hannah is pretty much flat out. Not flat out working, like she's just out for the count. So let's see, Hannah does all the editing and everything, and now it's all falling on my lap and I'm a bit like, oh god, let's see what I can do. Okay, see how we get on. If you watched last week's video, Hannah mentioned that we had a visit from a friend, Steve, and he made us this beautiful quilt, and they are fantastic. And this was the print I made of him a while back, the quilt maker print. And when he popped round, I was showing him I was showing him the sketchbook, and there was this one in there as well, which was like a rough idea at the time. And he said he wants that one as well, so I'm going to try and fit that in this video. It's got quite a nice perspective on that. And I don't really do commissions as a rule, but Steve actually buys them in bulk, so that sort of helps sway me. Okay, so let's get started on this. Right, it's not happening. My head's all cotton woolly and I feel all blah. For the last few days we've been feeling a bit rotten, and I thought I'd sort of come out of it a bit, and I've been doing bits and bobs, but poor Hannah is proper out. Well, we just done a COVID test as a precaution, because we just want to know how, we don't want to go around making other people ill. And we'll have a quick look at this. Well, that's mine on the left and that's Hannah's on the right. So poor Hannah's got COVID. Sorry if there's a weird whirring sound. We've got the fan on because we're sweltering. It's a bit weird actually, isn't it? Because this has sort of brought back memories of the pandemic, and they're not all good memories, are they? It was a bit horrible. Yeah, so we're just feeling a bit out of it, and we don't want it to be all miserable, this video, but I thought what I could do, because I started making prints at that time, and I actually made some of the really early ones I made were like of just stuff going on during the pandemic, and I didn't really think about them at the time. I was just trying to learn to make lino prints, so they're a bit obscure and a bit weird. They're a bit dark as well now when you look at them. I'll show you a few of those, and while that's happening, we'll try and think of something to lighten the mood. So here are a few of the prints I made during the pandemic, and as I was saying, they all seem a little bit dark now when I look back on them. But it was a bit of a dark time, wasn't it? It was all a bit odd and a bit sort of sci-fi-ish almost in some in some respects. So this first picture, I was still just making black and whites at the time, and I think there was like not a novelty, but there was something really odd about when it all first started happening and everyone was wearing masks, and it just seemed really odd. And I made this picture and I was trying to make it a bit of an optical illusion. So they've all got these top hats on and your eyes sort of follow one stream of people going one way and one going the other. And I was really happy with it at the time. And it didn't really seem so serious at the time when I made this. It was just like a little, like a little idea really. And I remember thinking, oh yeah, I quite like that. And yeah, it all seemed to go much further than we imagined. So this next one, this was actually the first colour print I ever made, and I still think this is one of my favourite lino prints that I've ever made. It just seems to be something about it that's a bit more arty than I know that sounds silly, but I don't know, there's just something about it that I really like. And it's just again, people trying to avoid each other this time, but all en masse, you know, and they've all got the masks on and they're just trying to almost dodge around each other. Yeah, so this next picture was when everything was getting a bit really odd, and so it's like a tube train, and by this point everyone was like, you know, social distancing, and there was nobody really travelling, and it was all just a bit eerie feeling. And it wasn't until quite a long time later actually when I was looking back on these, and I noticed these odd characters that I'd made in the picture, they don't have any arms, and I think that's because we weren't supposed to touch anything, which is a really odd concept when you think about it. So yeah, it's just like these couple of characters almost staring down at the person looking at them, the viewer, and yeah, just separate, and yeah, just a bit dark looking when you look back on it. But again, I quite like the images. I quite enjoyed the colours in it. This next one, oh, this is even weirder really. It's just somebody sat in the corner of a room, sort of self-isolating. But again, at the time, I wasn't really overthinking these. I was just making these pictures and just practicing making colour lino prints really. But in sort of retrospect, you look at it and you think, it's quite a weird image. It's quite dark. And the last one, which is sort of like, I suppose, a bit spooky almost, is this one when, I can't remember what this picture's called, but it got to that time where they'd say you can visit people, but you've got to be outside and stay away from each other. And so that's what this was about. And it's just that red and that black, and I don't even know what the figures are anymore. They just almost don't look like figures almost, but yeah, it all just got a bit weird. And yeah, so that's a bit of light entertainment for you all, isn't it? Well, it's actually been a couple of days now, and you've the sweating stopped.
I had like a fever for like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
But what didn't help was the fact that we also had a heat wave.
No, so how are you feeling today?
I feel a bit better.
We had a little incident yesterday where we went in the car with the aircon just to have a cool down, and when we got out of the car you had a bit of a faint, didn't you? So that was a bit scary, and thank you so much to Wendy.
Yeah, but I'm really glad because it's not as hot today. It's actually quite cool, and that's making a huge difference.
Yeah.
So in a few days I'll be back.
You've got your little carer here.
I'm looking forward to being back.
Yeah, so it's brought a bit of a halt to the proceedings. Been such a good nurse, Mabel, didn't you? Hey? Still needs 3 walks a day though.
That has been a challenge, hasn't it?
It has been a challenge.
Because I was really ill. You weren't well, but you weren't like
as bad.
But obviously Mabel still needs to walk. I can't talk.
So what we can do really is dose Hannah up with paracetamol and hot lemons and put some DVDs on for her and see what we can find. So I've been tasked to dig out a few DVDs. Now these is all stuff we found in CEX over the years, but it's like stuff you used to watch as a kid. So they're just laying around the boat, and these are what we put on for a bit of nostalgia.
What do you put on when you're ill?
She was actually asking me to find Wind in the Willows, but we don't know where it is. If you've made it this far, thank you very much. I know this is all a bit cobbled together, and usually Hannah does the videos, and I think she does a really nice job of them. And she was so worried about letting everyone down by not putting out a video that I sort of said, well, I'll cobble something together. And yeah, so hopefully it's been all right. But yeah, so me and Mabel are hiding in the bedroom. Hannah's now watching a DVD in the front room, and she's been in here most of the week, to be fair. We just wanted to mention the buy me a coffee thing again, because we do like a prize draw at the end of each month, and if you're not sure what all this is about, it's in the description. But it's like a sign of our appreciation. We give some stuff away. So somebody asked in the last video, well, what was the prize for the end of the month draw? So it's a set of Hannah's cards. It's like a set of 3 cards, and there's also, you get to choose from one of the reprints, and they will be mounted. These are just examples. This is what they look like mounted, so these are 2 different. So there's 4 of those, and you can choose from one of those, and you get the cards. And because this video has been a bit of a mess, I've also decided that we're going to do a second draw and give away one of the multi-block prints from last week. So we'll actually pick 2 winners, and I think the first winner will get the choice of the print, or yeah, we'll work that out. So thank you all so much for watching and your patience, and yeah, please like and subscribe and all that stuff, and we'll see you next week in better health, I hope. Bye.